Okay, I think I'll do a video difference between men and women. Because I've been on the subject the last couple days. So let's see, difference between men and women. Okay, well let's start in caveman days, okay, and then bring it up to the present because it's all genetic, I think, and well, sociological and whatever, but it's all a legacy from the past. You know, women have always been the ones who stay in the cave and take care of the babies, right, and grow the crops, while the men are out there running around tackling the saber-toothed tiger to bring back, or not the saber-toothed tiger, but like the mastodons and stuff like that movie 10,000 BC. So, guys have had to be bigger and stronger, and then women had to be, I guess, get by with eating less food, and that's why I guess why they're smaller. But I guess women have better endurance, or at least as good endurance. So guys will go out there and bust their asses, and then come tired and they get to sleep, while the women have to work, continue to work the rest of the day or something, or want to. So maybe but anyway, personality wise, what does that mean personality wise? It means that guys generally are going to be, and plus if you talk about, like there's also the whole sex aspect of it. Like if you have one guy on an island of 100 women, at the end of the year you're going to have 100 babies. But if you have one woman and 100 guys, at the end of the year there's going to be one baby. So generally, men are a lot hornier than women are. um, and and so that also is much more conducive to like traveling around. If you're going to travel, to a new land to do trade, or to conquer, to adventure, to find something, a new place for your tribe to go or whatever, it's going to be a guy who's going to do that, not a woman, because a woman could get knocked up by some guy, and then they'll become pregnant, and then they won't be able to travel anymore. Where a guy can knock up all these women, it doesn't matter, he keeps on going. So basically, what that means is that men, personality-wise, I think, are a lot more apt to be independent, and that's not just physically independent in activities, but also mentally independent, um, which is definitely an advantage if you want to invent things. Like I don't think it's an accident that 99% of the things that are invented have been invented by men. Now, I'm not saying that men are smarter. Women are more social. Women are always, in the town, in the tribe, um, teaching kids and the social, keeping the society together and all this stuff. So women are basically a lot more apt socially. So then why aren't women leaders, political leaders? Um, well, back in the day, back in primitive world, tribal world, and Rome, and medieval times and all this stuff. It's just a very kind of cutthroat. We've lived in a cutthroat world the last few thousand years, and that's just how it is. And if it's like that, the people who are going to be on top are going to be the aggressive, um, independent, you know, people who kind of don't have a problem, you know, I don't know, being independent, and you know, so basically, I guess that's why men have been in charge. I'm sure women have been in charge too, but just not on paper. um, but anyways, if you're going to do a video like the differences between men and women, you also have to do a video about how it's all changing, how the relationships between men and women are changing, because the world is changing, completely flipping over, like 180 flip on everything. Like holding secrets was good before, now it's bad. Um, um, being selfish before was how to get by. Now it's, you give to receive, and before it was, eye for an eye. Now it's turn the other cheek. So basically, with women and men, maybe, I mean, will it mean that women are actually going to take over more? I know that I think statistic-wise, at least I heard of a doctor girl in school said that most of the girls in her school were doctors, or in her doctor school were girls. I think most people getting higher education are girls nowadays, because girls are just more social, if you want to learn something, a guy would be in there trying to teach himself, and a girl would be out there like no, why would you go to class and be with other people? So maybe, that's going to basically bring women up in the world and make them I think, just as powerful politically as men. Um, I think soon too, within the next 50, 100 years or 30 years, probably a lot faster than a lot of people now realize. Um, and but basically, back to what I was saying, like women are more social. Now the advantages of that, I think, are that they know, social rules and stuff, and so they won't make faux pas and all this kind of thing, and then get ahead better that way. Now the downside of that is that, I think they also kind of restrict themselves. I think a lot of social norms and social rules and stuff that we have these days are actually fueled more by women than men, and that's a bad thing. I'm talking like DEA, FCC, all these social rules, nudity, all this weird stuff. I think it's mainly fueled by women, and I think women, in the past like to blame men for all of these like social restrictions, and I don't think it's quite like that. I think, women are a lot more to blame than a lot of women will realize. But so yeah, I think women have a tendency to get, shamed and stuff and spread shame and stuff more. But, that's just in the past. As far as nowadays, in the future, how will men and women be different in the future? I think men and women, like how would a way women's, okay, I'm gonna make a little disclaimer right now. I don't know anything about women, dude. Like, I know less about women than 99% of other guys out there. I'm a man's man. I'm not a woman's man. I don't have a sister. Never had female friends. Fucking had a wife. That's about it. But basically, as far as I can tell, the differences between how men and women will like act socially in the future. I don't know. Maybe women will be more. This say women are more empathetic and more in touch with their heart. I know that they say biologically women use both their sides of their brain at the same time, where a man only uses this side or this side and has to flip. And so, which I guess is an advantage for a man in a leadership, role, because you can focus on something and totally go after it. Like you have to do, like in a third world country, if you say something, you have to say it fast and, quick and fast and loud, like in Chile, or else nobody's going to hear you. Whereas here in America, in civilized country, you can say, oh, excuse me, and then everybody will look at you and they'll let you finish your sentence, And so you basically have to be aggressive like that. But now in the future, when people are going to be more civilized, I think people who think with both of their brains are actually going to do better. So maybe women are actually going to take over and be more powerful than men. I don't know. Now, as far as sex goes, sex drive, in the future, now that sex is gonna start to become something that people do for, pleasure as opposed to making babies, and women, don't have that as their only bargaining chip again on men. Maybe the new species genetically will change a little bit, and women will actually begin to have just as much sex drive as men in the future. That would be cool, huh? So I basically think, yeah, I think men and women basically biologically are going to kind of become more one, though. Men are going to genetically, biologically start to use both of their brains at the same time. Women will be able to be more independent. And, uh oh, I'm out of time, so there you go.